It was December 2019. And the world was prepared to award the Nobel Prize. The people of Ethiopia thought that they had found their long-awaited unifier and peacemaker. Ethiopians mark this historic day as the occasion when the first Ethiopian was honored with a Nobel Prize.
Mr. Prime Minister, I got lost in words. I'm here to give you an award in the form of a diploma and a gold medal.
But neither the world nor the people of Ethiopia were prepared for what was coming. At the time, no one realized that they were probably dealing with the political conman of the century. Abiy Ahmed's ascent to power was a story of hope and promise. Born to a mixed ethnic heritage, he was seen as a unifying figure in a country deeply divided along ethnic lines. In 2018, he was appointed as Ethiopia's Prime Minister, promising a new era of democratic reforms and reconciliation.
Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed says he wants to bridge the gap between his government and American diaspora communities. In his remarks to a crowded Washington, D.C. convention hall, Abiy invited the diaspora to come to Ethiopia and change the country for the better, not just for themselves, but for future generations. He also asked Ethiopians in exile to bring light to America.
He cannot do everything by himself. So he needs the support of everybody, and I'm hoping that everybody will support him too.
In his inauguration speech, Abiy Ahmed said, "My vision for Ethiopia is a nation where every citizen, regardless of their ethnic background, has an equal opportunity to thrive. Unity is our strength, and together, we can build a prosperous and harmonious Ethiopia."
I am very excited. I'm very speechless. It's a very good sign for our country, and he's very great. I'm sure he's going to make us a great country.
However, the initial optimism soon gave way to growing ethnic tensions. Once hailed as a beacon of hope and reform, Abiy Ahmed's leadership has taken a dramatic turn. Abiy Ahmed, the Nobel laureate who promised to bring peace and unity to Ethiopia but instead brought turmoil, war, genocide, famine, and soaring inflation. In recent years, Ethiopia has been at the center of a political crisis that has shocked the world. Abiy struggled to manage the diverse ethnic groups within Ethiopia, and his leadership led to the birth of an authoritarian government. Abiy's authoritarian rule has resulted in one of the darkest eras of modern-day Ethiopia, leaving thousands dead and millions displaced. According to the Genocide Watch, Ethiopia is currently in an emergency status and has stage 5, 9, and 10 of the genocide stages. The genocide process is not linear. Stages occur simultaneously, and each stage is itself a process. On stage 5, genocide is organized, usually by the state, often using militias to provide deniability of state responsibility. Special army units or militias are often trained and armed. Plans are made for genocidal killings. On stage 9, extermination begins, and quickly becomes the mass killing legally called genocide. It is extermination to the killers because they do not believe their victims to be fully human.
I was recently in Auschwitz, Birkenau, where so many people met their deaths. And they were killed for the mere reason of belonging to an identity. Most of them belong to the Jewish community. And they were killed not because of anything that they did, but because they belonged to an identity. And killings based on identity, we've unfortunately seen them in other places too.
On stage 10, denial is the final stage that lasts throughout and always follows genocide. It is among the surest indicators of further genocidal massacres. The perpetrators of genocide dig up the mass graves, burn the bodies, try to cover up the evidence and intimidate the witnesses. They deny that they committed any crimes, and often blame what happened on the victims.
Thank you for joining us. Today, my fellow commissioners and myself released the second report to the Human Rights Council. This is a report of the International Commission of Human Rights Experts on Ethiopia. Our investigation over the last year has shown that despite the signing of the cessation of hostilities agreement in Pretoria last November, more than 10 months later, the situation in Ethiopia remains grave. The signing of the agreement has neither resolved the conflict nor brought about comprehensive peace. Violent confrontations in Ethiopia are now at a near national scale, with significant violations ongoing in Tigray and Oromia and increasingly in Amhara region. It is hard to overstate the gravity of the violence which has taken place in Ethiopia since November 2020. We have documented mass killings, rape, starvation, destruction of schools and medical facilities, forced displacement, and mass arbitrary detention amounting to both war crimes and crimes against humanity. In Amhara, violence has escalated between state forces and Fano militia members since August this year, and the situation is now characterized by use of heavy weaponry, at least one drone strike carried out by the state, including widespread arbitrary arrests and detention of civilians and extrajudicial killings. The need for a credible, inclusive, and meaningful process of justice, truth, reconciliation, and healing has never been more urgent.
The international community, and particularly the Nobel Peace Committee, perhaps desperate as ever for an African hero, completely overlooked the many warning signs about Abiy's background, character, and intentions when he unexpectedly became Ethiopia's Prime Minister in April 2018. The peace deal with Eritrea, for which Abiy was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, no longer exists, and both countries fought together in a war, and now leaders of the two countries are at odds with each other. The Nobel Peace Prize, therefore, was given for a peace deal that never existed in reality. The Ethiopian people were coerced to trust the words of a conman and underestimated both Abiy Ahmed's ambition and his willingness to turn on the very people that brought him to power and now have to deal with the consequences. As Ethiopia grapples with its challenges and works on uninstalling Abiy Ahmed, The international community should use all available means to stop the continued genocide that is happening in Ethiopia. And these stories must be told so that history does not repeat itself. Thank you for watching this video, and please leave us your thoughts in the comments section below and let us know if you think that Abiy Ahmed is the political conman of the century and whether the Nobel Committee should revoke the Peace Prize that was awarded to Abiy. Help us by spreading this alerting information by sharing this video and by starting or joining a petition on change.org to have Abiy Ahmed's Peace Prize revoked.